It's Friday the 13th, and the viewers have spoken. Earlier today, I did a video on the horror pack in honor of Friday the 13th. And of course, that pack includes the Jason Voorhees Dunk High and the Freddy Krueger Dunk Low. And a few of you guys reached out and you said, hey, what about the unlucky number 13 Dunk High? And I completely forgot that I should have included that pair in the Friday the 13th video, so here it is. And props to you guys for suggesting that. And I want to tell you that when I built the ShoeZeum, I did exactly what you did. I let my creativity and my imagination flow, thinking of the inspirations and the themes behind these shoes, and I matched them up from pair 1 to pair 2500 so that I could walk the viewer through the ShoeZeum from one pair to the next, and each shoe flowed to tell a very cohesive story about the history of Nike and my own personal journey. That being said, let's talk about the unlucky Dunk High number 13. And of course, it was part of a pack with the lucky Dunk High number 7. These shoes came out in July of 2004, and they're actually one of the first packs of Nike SB shoes ever made. Remember that Nike SB got started in '02, and just a few years later in 2004, they made this incredible pack of high-top shoes inspired by the superstitious lucky number 7 and unlucky number 13. Come over here and let's have a look at the lucky number 7 pair. When you look at this pair of shoes, at a first glance, it appears like a gold pair of shoes. And that's partially correct. Half of the upper is metallic gold. But when you look at the colors on the box, it's also going to describe this shoe as wheat. And when you look closely at the upper, it's got this wheat suede colorway that sort of camos into gold because of the rest of the upper being made out of this metallic gold color. There's also lucky green accents, and when you look closely at the shoe, you'll see a lucky number 7 stitched on in green. Because these shoes were inspired by the lucky number 7, there are only 777 pairs in the whole world, and they're very valuable. They're worth somewhere between $500 and $700 because of the rarity, but also because of the amazing gold upper. And of course, Nike chose this color scheme of gold and green because it was sort of happy-go-lucky, a real pick-me-up, and the shoes were supposed to be inspired by luck. Let's have a look at the next pair from the pack, the unlucky number 13. You'll notice that this pair of shoes is black and red with yellow accents, but of course if you look at the box, Nike's going to describe this shoe as black on black. I wish they would do a better job of describing their kicks by the colors on the box. Anyway, the unlucky 13s were the counterpart to the lucky 7s. Because of the unlucky number 13, there are 1,300 pairs of these shoes, and these shoes are quite valuable. I would say they're worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 to $500. Not quite as much as the Luckies, because the Luckies were just a little bit more exclusive with 777 pairs. These shoes are amazing. They're inspired by the unlucky number 13, and you'll notice the number 13 stitched on the uppers of these shoes. Very cool theme for one of the earlier SB packs. These shoes were designed by Liam Sean Martin, who put together a lot of the colors on really cool early SBs. Both of these shoes were a part of an amazing exhibit in the ShoeZeum, the What the Dunk wall. Many of you know about the What the Dunk shoe. It's a Nike SB, which is a patchwork quilt of about 50 really rare Nike SBs. These shoes celebrate the first 5 years of Nike SBs, and they're a real patchwork of a bunch of different Nike SBs. A really creative idea that we've seen expanded into all different shoes, what the Maxes, what the Kobes, what the Durants, what the LeBrons, who knows what the is next, but this shoe has inspired a whole lot of mishmashes of very popular shoes. When you look closely at the right shoe, there's a number 7 stitched on there, reminiscent of the number 7 from the Lucky shoes. And you'll notice, look real close, it's a green number 7 on the red suede upper of the shoe. That red suede is going to come from the Bison SB, and of course we know that green 7 comes from the Lucky SB. Now the left shoe, of course, is going to look completely different than the right shoe, and when you look closely at the details of the left shoe, you'll notice that we've got a stitched on number 13 on the elephant toe box, which was inspired by the Supreme Dunk lows. And of course that 13 comes from the unlucky Dunk High number 13. One of my favorite exhibits in the ShoeZeum featured 2 pairs of What the Dunks along with every single shoe that made them up. And I promise I'm going to do a video on them as soon as I complete the pack. The only shoe that I'm missing is the Reese Forbes Denim Dunk, and when you look at the heel of the left shoe right here, you'll see it's made out of blue denim. That's the only shoe that I'm missing. Once I get that shoe, I'm going to break down these What the Dunks into all of the parts that make them up. But for now, it's time for the luckies, the unluckies, and happy Friday the 13th.